This video is powered by BetUS. Use promo code YouTube150 to get your 150% sign-up bonus. Start playing today with an exclusive offer. Shout out to BetUS for being the proud sponsor of Roundtable Sports.
What's going on, NFC South Roundtable? James Hill here, back with a video. And folks, I have been tasked to recap the entirety of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers season, folks. We have a lot of questions to talk about, right? How did I feel about the 2024 season? What did I learn? What did I not expect? What was my record prediction, over or under? Who was I most surprised with? Who was I most disappointed with? And am I optimistic or pessimistic about the future? Okay, that's a lot of questions. Let's go ahead and start off with the first one. How did I feel about the 2024 season for the Bucs? And honestly, it was a bit of a mixed bag, man. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a bit of a mixed bag. I thought on one hand, it was good the Buccaneers won 10 games, and they had a lot of success, especially on the offensive side of the football, in terms of just being able to make the playoffs, win the division yet again, and, continue overall fine play from this past season. However, I feel bad because I feel like they took a bit of a step back. They lost in round one of the playoffs. And yes, I know the Commanders went all the way to the NFC Championship game. Congratulations to them for that, but that is a step back based on where the Bucs were last year, where they not only won 9 games, but they won a playoff game as well. We didn't see that this year. We did see the Bucs take a bit of a step back, in my opinion. So overall, there were some things I liked about the Buccaneers season, absolutely, but there were also some things where I thought, it's a bit of a step back for me. What did I learn? Well, I learned that, one, Liam Cohen was a really good offensive coordinator. He's gone now. The Buccaneers are going to have to find a new OC. We're going to have to figure out who the heck that is going to be. I also learned that this offense has a lot of talent. Baker Mayfield is an absolute dog and continues to be a dog. I learned that last season, under Dave Canales, was not a fluke. In fact, we saw Baker Mayfield play even better, make his second Pro Bowl in 2 seasons in Tampa Bay. And Baker is a leader in that clubhouse, maybe the leader in that clubhouse, okay? We continued to learn that Mike Evans is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. If people aren't convinced right now at this point, I don't know what to tell you, quite frankly. We also learned that the defense has some work to do, especially on the personnel side of things. Now, we're not going to dive into the whole what's going on with Todd Bowles. Should he stay? Should he go? Look, he's staying. Right, he's staying, especially after you lose your OC. You lose some other coaches in that mix as well. Todd Bowles is going to be sticking around. That's just the matter of the situation. But we did learn that the Bucs do need some help on that defensive side of the ball. They do, right? I mean, we've learned that middle linebacker is certainly a need. We've learned that they need some help in the secondary. They need some help, especially at edge rusher. Especially at edge rusher is a need for the Buccaneers as well. So a lot of the things that we learned in positive ways involved the offense. In negative ways involved the defense, right? So, you learn some good, you learn some bad. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. We also learned that, hey, Todd Bowles, may need a little bit of help here in terms of maybe clock management, maybe just some bringing in some different defensive coaching staff. Will he? Probably not at this point, but that is still something that we certainly learned, right? What did I not expect? Well, I didn't expect Bucky Irving to be as good as he was, and he was an absolute beast, right? He was an absolute beast. I did not expect that. That was very surprising to me. A very pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting Baker Mayfield to have an even better year this year than what he did last year, to astronomical proportions, by the way. I mean, that was an absolutely fantastic year we just witnessed under Baker Mayfield. So I was not expecting that either. To be honest, I mean, I don't necessarily know if I was expecting the Bucs to get knocked out in round 1. I thought that they could make it to the second round, which is why it was so disappointing, right? I was not expecting the Bucs to go through the first half of this year the same way they went through the second half of last year, which was going 4-7, the exact same way as last year under Bowles, whenever they went 9-8. I wasn't expecting that, and it's an unpleasant expectation, right? It's an unpleasant surprise, in my opinion. I was not expecting that. My overall record prediction was actually spot on. I said the Bucs were going to go 10-7, at least on my own personal channel. To be 100% honest with you, I can't 100% remember what I did say on Roundtable Sports what the Buccaneers were going to go with. I believe I may have said 10-7, which if so, hey, I was right on the money with that one. But still, the record, as I said, it's a step forward with the record, but a step back regarding the overall playoff expectations of where this team needed to be. Who surprised me the most? As I said, Bucky Irving, Baker Mayfield. The offensive line was fantastic this past year. Logan Hall was an interesting surprise for me as well on the defensive side of the ball. You also take a look at some other guys. Antoine Winfield Jr. was a disappointment. Surprised disappointedly, right? Whenever we do talk about disappointments, I thought Kalijah Kancey was a bit of a pleasant surprise in some moments. So those were some positive surprises, but disappointments. Actually, no, I do have some more positive surprises. Look, Jalen McMillan, Cade Otton, Bucky Irving, Rashad White, I thought had a very solid year. Who were some disappointments? Well,
huge shout out to BetUS for sponsoring today's show. If you guys go to BetUS, you guys can use a 150% bonus on your first deposit to get a 150% bonus, 125% on your next two. That's up to $2,000. The Super Bowl is here. Chiefs, Eagles, and the early odds is in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs with 1-point favorites with the money line at -127, and the over-under is at 49. If you want to check out BetUS, you can already bet on the Super Bowl. They have a lot of fun prop bets. You can even bet on the coin toss if you wanted to. Are the Chiefs going to win the coin toss, or are the Eagles going to win the coin toss? And if you stay tuned to BetUS, they always come out with the best Super Bowl prop bets on the entire planet. So definitely go check out BetUS at betus.com.pa and using the promo code YouTube150 when you sign up today.
KJ Britt and any other middle linebacker not named Levante David was pretty disappointing. The pass rush was pretty disappointing as well. Any cornerback not named Zion McCollum and maybe sometimes Jamel Dean was pretty darn disappointing as well. The safety room was disappointing. And ultimately, I was pretty disappointed with the defensive coaching staff. Not just 100% specifically Todd Bowles, but the positional coaches as well. It seems like there was just breakdowns in communication this past year, and guys just weren't developing this season on the defensive side of the ball. And yes, while you can say execution, while you can say guys did struggle, I'm also going to say, hey, coaches got to do it better as well. So those were all some pretty disappointing things on the defensive side of the ball. Now we get to the interesting question. Am I optimistic or pessimistic about the future of the Bucs? Oh, man. In some ways, I'm optimistic, okay? I like some of the core players the Bucs have, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I'm optimistic about the futures of Baker Mayfield, hopefully the continuity of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield, Bucky Irving, in this offensive line, and sprinkle in a little bit of Rashad White and Cade Otton in there as well. I'm optimistic about those things. On the defensive side of the ball, I am optimistic about Zion McCollum. I'm trying to be optimistic about Winfield Jr. coming back and returning to form. I am optimistic about the future of Vita Vea and Kalijah Kancey. Maybe you throw Logan Hall in there. I don't know. What am I pessimistic about? Well, I'm pessimistic about Levante David possibly retiring. I'm pessimistic about the future of the secondary besides Zion McCollum and possibly Antoine Winfield Jr. I'm pessimistic about the pass rush right now and what it could be going forward because, quite frankly, it didn't give me a lot to be optimistic about. And I'm pessimistic about the inside linebacker situation. I'm also pessimistic about the defensive coaching staff. And where the Bucs can be in terms of their ceiling, right? I am a little concerned about that. I think most people would be, right? Because these past 3 years, we've seen the Bucs go 8-9, 9-8, 10-7. They've won a playoff game. They've lost 3. Have the Bucs reached a ceiling with Todd Bowles? In my opinion, yes. I have not been shy about that opinion. So does that make you pessimistic? Because what if they aren't hitting their ceiling every single year? Will they only win 6, 7 games, not make the playoffs, and then look at a regime change? I don't know. I think some of that also hinges on the correct hiring of the next offensive coordinator, which I'm cautiously optimistic based on who they've been interviewing. And I'm cautiously optimistic based on the success they've had hiring the past 2 offensive coordinators. But ultimately, we don't know how that's going to turn out, right? We don't know. So that's why I say I'm cautiously optimistic. I guess I would say more so than not, I'm also optimistic about the future of Jason Light and what he can bring into this football team. I would say more so than not, I am optimistic about the Bucs' future. I am. I do believe after this offseason, they will still be in a spot to compete for the playoffs and to compete for the NFC South crown yet again. But the other teams in the NFC South are going to get better. I'm talking about the Panthers. I'm talking about the Falcons. And I'm also even talking about the Saints, right? Those teams are going to get better by default. So I do believe it still will be an extremely competitive NFC South next year, but I do feel optimistic that the Bucs will continue to stay in that competition, hopefully extend that playoff streak, and hopefully extend that NFC South winning streak as well. But folks, let me know your thoughts and opinions here at the NFC South Roundtable. I would love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now. And go Bucs.
This video is powered by BetUS. Use promo code YouTube150 to get your 150% sign-up bonus. Start playing today with an exclusive offer. Shout out to BetUS for being the proud sponsor of Roundtable Sports.